Fallout Equestria Survivors Guild, Chapter 6, Part 2. That night, the dream came back to me. It had been months since I had last had that burning Ponyville dream. It had started to become more infrequent as I spent more time, but tonight it came back, with a vengeance. This time I saw the ponies I had met in the wasteland, the ones I had made friends with, worked alongside, burning in a massive burst of energy. I screamed as I bolted upright, and it took me a moment to realize that I was in Serenity's apartment in Crystal City. She had asked me to spend the night, and I had been willing to do so, and I was breathing heavily.
Scootaloo, are you okay?
The filly's soft voice asked as she came into the room, looking at me worried.
I heard you scream. Oh, I'm fine. I'm sorry if I woke you up,
I said. My heart was racing a mile a minute right now, but I was calming down.
Oh, it's okay. I was awake anyway. I sometimes have nightmares,
she says, rubbing her foreleg a little.
Oh, it's okay, Serenity. Here, come here,
I said, and I pulled in the filly close, hugging her gently.
You can tell me about them if you want to. They're about the changelings,
she said quietly.
It's always about them. They're just trying to grab me or my friends or family.
I frowned a little as I wrapped my wings around the filly. Sometimes it was easy to forget that despite what she's done, she was still a foal deep down, and even if she was strong enough to survive, the experience of fighting the changelings had affected her more than she would want to admit. The situation in the war with the zebras had never really gotten so bad that we had to use foals to fight each other. The fact that even foals had seen war in the wasteland was distressing to me, but there wasn't anything I could do about it, other than try and comfort Serenity. After all, War may never change, but it will change a pony in ways that you can never truly understand.
I'm so sorry, Serenity,
I said as I nuzzled her gently.
I promise that you'll be okay. It's not gonna be easy, but you will get through this. I'm here to help you as best as I can. You really mean that?
She asked, her red eyes brightening up a little.
I do,
I said with a smile as I pulled her in close.
Like I said earlier, family is important, and we are family. Does this mean you'll stay in Crystal City? Well, I've really got nowhere else to go. Arclight seems willing to go and do her own thing, so honestly, I might,
I said with a nod and a smile.
I'd love nothing more than to just stay here.
Serenity smiles and snuggles up to me, looking thoughtful for a moment before asking a question.
Did you have a nightmare before? Yeah, I did,
I said with a light sigh.
I've been having them on occasion, usually of ponies I know dying in a mega spell. It's been really hard on me ever since I woke up from the stasis, but they're not as frequent as they used to be. Oh, okay,
Serenity said and yawned.
Tomorrow there's something I want to show you, okay? It's really, really cool. Okay, Serenity. I can't wait,
I said with a smile, and nuzzled the filly as she drifted off to sleep. I smiled a little. Serenity reminded me a bit of myself when I was at that age, and of Cloudy. She was a sweet filly who ultimately just wanted to help others, which was why she had fought the changelings. When given the chance to save the world or live like nothing was wrong, it was the strongest of us who would put aside our own fear and do the right thing. I was happy that my family line had produced such a brave filly. I laid her back onto the bed and laid down next to her, draping my wing over her protectively as I drifted off to sleep. I slept better than I had in years. And the next day, we were heading down a street in Crystal City. Serenity was riding next to me on her scooter wearing a faded Crusader cape. A few ponies waved to us with smiles. After all the weird looks I got from the rest of Equestria, it was actually nice to find ponies that actually liked me.
So that's one of my Red Racer scooters, isn't it?
I asked curiously. I recognized the model. It had been one of my last ones my company had produced.
Yep, that's right,
she said with a smile.
The other Scootaloo fixed it up and used it during the changeling invasion. She gave it to me before she left. Well, I'm glad it's still working,
I said.
I haven't been on a scooter since before the war. I admit I kind of miss it sometimes. Well, you never know,
Serenity said as she did a trick, her wings buzzing a little as she propelled herself along.
So, how are you liking Crystal City? I like it,
I said with a smile.
It's one of the more interesting places I've been in the wasteland. I'm glad it's recovered so well. Yeah, but it seems to be a magnet for trouble sometimes,
Serenity comments.
the Enclave, King Sombra, the Changelings. I'm almost afraid to ask what's next. Wait, King Sombra came back?
I asked curiously. This was the first I had heard of that.
Oh, yeah, a long story there. I was still little when it happened, but he tried to take the Crystal Wasteland over, but he was stopped, just barely. We're still kind of dealing with all the aftershocks of that. Heck, even the Changelings was a result of them having made a deal with him years ago to help them recover from the Enclave.
The Enclave. It always seemed to come back to the Enclave no matter where I went. With two of their generals now dead, it seemed like they were going to start to become more desperate to execute their plan. What was their plan, though? They had tried to take over several parts of Equestria by this point, but to what end? It almost felt like they were preparing for something big, but I couldn't figure out what it might be. And somehow, not knowing scared me more than anything else.
We're here,
Serenity said as we stopped in front of an old storefront that hadn't been repurposed yet.
Come on, it's just inside.
I smiled a little and followed the energetic Fillion through the door. I was surprised a bit to find out that we were in an old toy store. Some of it had already been cleared out, but Serenity was heading towards the back. I smiled a little when I saw what she was heading for. It was a set of old Red Racer scooters that had been set up on display. They were old, but they actually looked like they were almost in working condition.
I know it's kind of, silly, but I thought you might like one.
Serenity said, rubbing the back of her head sheepishly.
Is that okay?
I smiled a little and gave her a hug.
It's more than okay. Thank you, Serenity. This really means a lot to me.
Serenity smiled and hugged back. We let go after a moment before going to try and decide which one to use.
So, you and Serenity seem to be really hitting it off,
Ark said as I was working on restoring the scooter I had picked up.
Yeah, she's a really good kid. She kind of reminds me of myself when I was her age,
I said as I kept on working.
I know. That's what worries me about her.
Ark said with a light chuckle.
Very funny, Ark,
I said as I rolled my eyes and kept on working.
Serenity, she's a smart kid. She's not going to cause that much trouble, I, hope. Where is she now, anyway? I think she said something about a patrol,
I replied.
She said that she goes around town every so often just to check things out. Given what has happened here with the Changelings, I don't really blame her. Yeah, me neither,
Ark said with a sigh.
So, I've been talking with Vanilla a little bit. It sounds like another train is set to arrive in a week to head back south. I was gonna get a ticket, but I'd figure you might want to stay a little while longer. Yeah, just... at least for now,
I said.
Honestly, I'm thinking about settling down here permanently. I know we've discussed it before, but I'm not sure what else there is for me out there. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Ark said as she levitated a wheel over to me.
Whatever you do, I'll respect your decision. I don't want you to be unhappy on my account. I know, and that means a lot to me,
I said with a smile as I fit into the scooter.
Besides, I wouldn't want to keep you from finding your mare friend. She's not my... I just have a...
Ark said and blushed deeply, making me laugh at her reaction.
That's not fair, Scootaloo. You really need to stop talking in your sleep, then.
I laughed as I finished tightening the screws on him.
Does she know? No,
Ark admitted with a light sigh.
And if I don't find her, I'll never get the chance to tell her how I really feel. It's okay. I get the feeling that you'll find her,
I said as I finished working on the scooter and tested it out.
I believe in you. Thanks,
she said with a nod.
Come on, let's go find Serenity.
I nodded and wheeled out, looking for the small Pegasus filly.
Hey, Scootaloo.
A golden red blur said as I sped past me in Ark.
Huh. So that's what it feels like,
I said, shaking my head clear.
Hey, Serenity, hold on a second.
Serenity came in for a stop and looked over at us and smiled.
Oh, cool. You got it finished,
she said as she came over to us.
Yeah, I'm a little rusty to be honest, but I've got it all fixed up,
I said with a smile.
It's as good as new now, so here's hoping it'll stay together. Yeah, it looks pretty good,
Serenity said as she examined it.
So, what is it about scooters anyway?
Ark asked curiously.
It just seems a bit, strange to me is all, just to be so attached to them. Well, with me, it was always kind of an alternative to flight,
I said with a shrug.
It keeps my wing muscles strong, and honestly, it's fun. It's just always been something I've been really good at. Yeah, same here,
Serenity said, flapping her wings sadly, and my heart fell a little.
Vanilla thinks it might be something related to my body's magic, or something. Oh, I'm sorry,
Ark said, cringing a little.
That just can't be easy for you. Yeah, but it'll be okay,
Serenity said, putting on a brave smile that I knew all too well.
Though, I'll admit it would be nice to be able to fly. Yeah,
I admitted, and hugged Serenity gently.
I've got an idea. How about we race? First one to the castle wins. You're so on!
I grinned and climbed onto my scooter, and the two of us raced off towards the castle, our wings pumping to propel us past the startled ponies. I didn't really care who won at this point. It was just exhilarating to feel the wind rushing past me as we weaved back and forth. I hadn't felt this alive in years, and it was just good to be able to ride once more. We finally pulled in for a stop right at the castle's front door, laughing. It was the best experience I had since waking up as Ark trotted up to us.
Hey, so who won? I did,
we both said in unison before laughing again. It was the next day, and I was seated at the local cafe reading my copy of The Book of Little Pip when I heard the sound of hooves approaching.
Do you mind if I join you?
Vanilla asked as I looked up to see her.
Oh, no, go ahead. Thanks,
she said and pulled out the chair, taking a seat across from me.
I wanted to say thank you. You've been really helping Serenity lately. No problem. Helping ponies is what I do,
I said with a smile as I put in a bookmark and set it back into my bag.
She's a really good pony, and I'm glad I was able to help her out as best as I could. I just wish that there was more I could do. Oh, it's fine. You're doing great. Serenity hasn't been this happy since the Crusaders went back to their own world. She always saw them as family, and, well, I know I'm not exactly the best mother in the world. Oh, you're doing fine. You raised a filly who couldn't stand by and let innocent ponies get hurt,
I said reassuringly.
You should be proud of her. I am. It's just, I don't know what to do,
Vanilla admitted. She looked a little uncomfortable for a moment.
Honestly, I'm worried about what'll happen to her if something happens to me. Yeah, I know what you mean,
I said with a sad nod.
Look, the best advice I can give you is to make the most of the time you both have together. She cares about you, even if she doesn't always show it. I know,
Vanilla said.
Do you think I'm being too hard on her? Maybe a little. I mean, she's only 10, but she's seen more action than most ponies her age have in the past,
I said.
You can still worry about her, but maybe give her a little more freedom. You're still her mom, and she'll always come back to you when she needs you. Thanks,
Vanilla said, then added with a chuckle.
Besides, it's not like I have gotten into my fair share of trouble, especially after I left Stable 81. Oh? Why did you have to leave?
I asked curiously.
Well, long story short, you guys didn't give us enough material to repair our water purifier, so I wound up using the stable door,
Vanilla said sheepishly.
You used the stable door to fix the water purifier?
I asked in disbelief.
Yep. The thing that kept the horrors of the wasteland out of the stable. That's the one. You know, that was kind of a dumb idea, right? I am painfully aware of the fact, yes,
Vanilla said with a groan.
For a smart pony, I sometimes do dumb things. Hey, everything turned out okay in the end,
I said with a smile.
You're doing a good job from what I've seen, and you've got nothing to really feel sorry for. Thanks, Goodaloo. That really means a lot,
Vanilla said with a smile.
So, you're thinking about hanging around here for a while? Yeah, I don't really have anywhere else to go at this point,
I said with a shrug.
I mean, you don't mind, do you? I don't want to impose. No, it's okay,
Vanilla said.
It would really make Serenity happy, and that's all that really matters to me. Thanks, Vanilla,
I said and gave her a light hug.
I'll leave you to read. It was nice talking to you again,
Vanilla said and got up, walking off. I smiled a little and opened the book back up again. I put in the earbuds back into my ears and started listening to DJ Pon3's voice again. In other news, reports from around Equestria are coming in about a new group of alicorns calling themselves the Nightmare Society. They've been kidnapping ponies from settlements and stables around the wasteland. There are reports from the south of an alicorn traveling around the area trying to take on a society, but our information isn't very clear. Well, if you're out there listening, I wish you the best of luck in taking them down. The last thing we need is another goddess around here. I frowned a little, but at least it was being dealt with. I kept reading as the music filled my ears. Seriously, did this song keep coming up on purpose or something? A few days have passed. I met Serenity's friends that still lived in the area, and I was surprised to meet Ash, who was, well, he kind of looked like Sombra, but I didn't want to pry. Then there was Vex, and he was a changeling, but he was nice enough. Apparently, he had decided to go against the leadership of the changelings during the invasion, and helped out the Crusaders. It was strange to think about it. If I had been here sooner, I may have gotten to see Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom again, kind of. Then again, I also would have met the other me, and that would have been confusing. The night before Ark had decided to go back to NCR territory, we had a party. Not a Pinky level kind of party, but a little nice party in and of itself. It felt like I was losing a member of my family, but I knew Ark was going to be okay. I had no doubt that she'll find Caramel someday. And that's how we all found ourselves at the train station to see her off. The train was set to leave soon, and we were saying our goodbyes.
Are you gonna be okay out there, Ark?
Serenity asked as she hugged Ark.
Don't worry, kiddo. I'll just be fine.
Ark said with a smile as she ruffled the filly's mane gently.
You need to keep an eye on your grandma, though. You know how old ponies get. Hey! I'm only 41!
I protested, which just got a laugh out of Ark and Serenity. I couldn't help but just join in too.
Take care of yourself, Scootaloo. I expect to see you again someday,
Ark said as she and I shook hooves.
You too. And make sure I get an invitation to the wedding,
I said with a smirk, making Ark blush deeply.
Seriously though, I can't wait to meet her. Bring her home safe, okay? I will,
Ark said with a smile. As she was about to climb onto the train, there was a sudden sound that made us all pause. It was music. Not like any music we heard before. It was almost militaristic in its own melody, and it was coming from every radio in Pip-Buck within hearing distance.
What? In Tartarus?
Vanilla said as the three of us checked our Pip-Bucks. There was no reason this should be going off right now. The music stopped after another minute and a voice came over the radio. It was a mare's voice, cold but commanding, as if every syllable was being peppered with confidence and charisma.
Hello, Equestria. This is President Winterbreeze of the Grand Pegasus Enclave, and I'm here to give you a message.
Level up. Perk received. Calming presence. Details. You have a knack for helping ponies calm down and telling them what they need to hear. You gain a boost in your speech and barter stat.